Ladies and gentlemen, today we shall discuss the topic on the falsity and truthfulness of propositions. At the same time, we shall discuss also the topic on the categorical propositions. So, mhm, slideshow from the very beginning. Slideshow from the beginning. The falsity and the truthfulness of the proposition. We need to say whether the proposition or the statement is false or true. That is what we mean by falsity and truthfulness. With regard to falsity and truthfulness of propositions, the following must be taken into account. If the relation of the subject and the predicate is unchangeable, meaning say immutable, it means it is an essential relationship. The proposition is considered as a necessary proposition. Example, a dog is an irrational animal. Uh, all dogs are irrational. Uh, that is necessary proposition. Uh, it is unchanging. A triangle has three sides. If it is four sides, then it is not a triangle anymore. It is a square. Okay. And then we go to another kind of proposition uh, aside from necessary. We say the contingent proposition. Contingent means it is dependent on time, place, persons, or things. Contingent propositions are those having a changeable or accidental relations between subject and predicate. So accidental in logic and in philosophy means that it is not uh, essential. It is actually changeable. Ang essential naman ay yung unchangeable, part of the nature of the thing or person. So, contingent propositions. The predicate is only accidentally related to the subject. So, when we say in philosophy, accidental, we say changeable, not essential. Different from our ordinary language when we say accidental, means say there is an accident that has happened. Example, Filipinos are hospitable. So this is just accidental. Some Filipinos are not. Uh, Lapu-Lapu was not hospitable to Magellan. He in fact killed Magellan 500 years ago, 1521 to 2021, 500 years ago. And then, I think it's okay. Exercise. Identify each proposition as either necessary or contingent. Do you still remember, class, our distinction? For example, number one, man is a rational animal. Is that necessary or contingent proposition? What's your answer? Anybody? Ang tao ba ay rational? Of course, yes. That is necessary. That's why we go to school. You go to school because you are rational. How about dogs? Dogs and animals are not rational. They don't go to school. They are just driven by instinct. Number two, the streets in Cebu are flooded. Is this accidental or contingent, or is this essential? Flooded, not all the times flooded. We need to say this is just contingent. And then the whole is greater than any of its part. Of course, that is true at all times. That is unnecessary proposition. And four, Peter is the leader of the band. Sometimes Peter is not leader of the band. Okay, that is contingent. And then cats are always playful. We have cats. I have a cat here. I have a kitten. Sometimes it is playful. Sometimes it is not. So it is contingent. No? Uh-huh. Number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We shall just leave this in favor of the four kinds of categorical propositions. After this, you will have a quiz class. No? You review your notes and then you answer your quiz in Canvas. Then you can have a perfect score. Now, taking into account both the quality and quantity of the proposition at the same time results to four kinds of categorical proposition. Now, perhaps you may be questioning, what is, by the way, proposition, sir, in Tila? Of course, proposition is a statement, but not all sentences are propositions because only declarative sentence is a proposition acceptable in logic and in philosophy. So, uh, the interrogative sentence, questioning, how are you, is not a proposition. Or in the exclamatory sentence, OMG, that is not a proposition. Or a command, go home and study or go to sleep. That is a command. That is an imperative statement. It is not a proposition. A proposition is a declarative sentence. Now, what do we mean by categorical propositions? Categorical propositions are just uh, a statement or sentences without condition. No? Uh, the sentences which are conditional are called uh, conditional or hypothetical propositions. No? So, for example, if you study, you will gain good grades. If you pray, you will be blessed by God. So there is the condition if. So we are not studying yet the hypothetical propositions or conditional propositions. We are still in categorical propositions, and there are four of them. At, at this time, we shall study the quality and quantity of the propositions. So ano ba yun? Now, first is the universal or singular affirmative. Yung quality niya is that it can either be affirmative or negative. No? Example, I say, um, Peter is the first pope. That is affirmative. If I say, Peter is not the first pope, that is negative. That's the quality. No? Now, the quantity can be either universal, singular, or particular. Universal meaning to say it refers to all. No? You say all men are mortal. Everybody will die. Um, all angels are incorporeal beings. Yan. Universal yan. So, mayroon din singular, no? And universal na negative. Mhm. And then there is this particular affirmative, no? Particular affirmative means to say yes, some or few. For example, you say some Lasallians are intelligent students. Some Lasallians are uh, rich. So that is affirmative. Particular affirmative. Now we have also the particular negative. We say for example, Barnabas is uh, some disciples are not apostles. Uh, some disciples are not apostles. There were 72 disciples, but there were only 12 apostles. Ano naman itong singular? Singular, it refers to one person only. We say um, Peter is the head of the apostles. Yeah, singular affirmative. And you say Matthew is not the leader or is not the leader of the 12 apostles. Singular negative. Okay, class? Ah, so there are four kinds of categorical propositions. Then we go to this one. Since the early Middle Ages, These four kinds of categorical proposition have commonly been designated by letter symbols. We use letters to, uh, to identify them, corresponding to the first four vowels of the Roman alphabet. Ano ba yun? A, E, I, O, U. Wala na. Apat lang. So, A nito is the universal affirmative. Ang E nito is the universal negative opposite. Ang I nito is the particular affirmative. Opposite niya is particular negative. No? Parang yin-yang, ano? No? Kita mo yung yin-yang. Mayroong positive, mayroong negative, mayroong male, mayroong female, light, darkness. Yan. So, symbols. A stands for universal or singular affirmative. To say singular affirmative, Socrates is mortal. Yan. And then B, E na naman. Hindi ito. Hindi enter yan. Right there. E for the universal singular negative proposition. I for the particular affirmative proposition. And then O for the particular negative proposition. So, itong four letters na ito, no? Kita mo naka-color coding ito. Ang A at saka I, A at saka I dito, they color the blue here in my PowerPoint presentation because this represents the Latin word affirm, meaning to say, I affirm, I concede. Yan. Sabi ni Alma Moreno, I conceive. Wrong. Okay. I affirm. So, A at saka I nandito sa word na affirm. Itong E at saka O, from the Latin word nego, I deny. So, yan. Para madali maintindihan. We use memory device para madaling makuha. Kasi technical itong logic nito. So, we have here the chart. So, affirm. A at saka I naka-blue. Nego. E at saka O naka-red. So, itong A is universal affirmative. Itong I is particular affirmative. Ito ang E naman is universal negative. Itong O naman is particular negative. Okay? Yan. So, when it comes to quantity and quality, quantity means the number. Quality means whether it is affirmative or negative. Quality yan. So, quantity, it's universal. Onum versus ali, one against all. So, it's applied to all or singular. And then, itong particular nito, some or few. Yan. So, tatlo ang type natin ng quantity. Now, this is the proposition or this is the logical statement. This is the symbol, the quantity or the number, and then the quality, whether affirmative or negative. Number one, all men are mortal beings. Of course, lahat naman ng mga tao namamatay. Either namatay sa COVID o namatay sa sakit o namatay sa hindi na nagising. Yan. So, symbol, A, universal affirmative. All men. Some men are God-fearing. So, some men, sabi natin, particular yan. Pero affirmative. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So, singular. Kasi na-single out si Jesus Christ dito, it is affirmative. Cows are not horses. Oh, may dito there na not. Dito there na not. So, this is negative. And cows, all cows are not horses. Wala na namang cow horse. Although may tinatawag sila na cara beef. Carabao beef. Sinali yung beef, yung cow, at saka yung carabao yan. Now, number 6 here, number 5, some houses are not. Some houses, so particular negative. Okay na class? Get it? No? So I don't have to explain everything or multiply everything You can just master this by reading your handouts, no? And all, of course, I will post this video later on in YouTube for everyone to see, no? So just enjoy learning, no? So that's the joy of discovery. Sabihin mo, ano bang importance yan ng positive, affirmative, or negative nito sa buhay natin? Kailangan practical nito. Of course, sa buhay natin, kailangan natin bibili ka ba ng ulam o hindi? Sabihin mo, hindi. Kundi negative, oo. Sabihin mo, affirmative. O. Kung hindi ka bibili o wala kayong ulam. Yan. O sabihin mo sa babae, tinatanggap ko ba ako bilang umiibig sa'yo? Sabi ng babae, hindi. Kasi mayroon na akong boyfriend na iba. No? Kundi negative, no? O pag sinabi niya, pahiya pa siya, hindi ko na kasi kaya eh. Oo na lang. Okay, yun. Affirmative, yan. Even in prayers class, no, God can answer us affirmatively. No? Sabihin mo, Lord, bigyan mo ako ng intelligence na maintindihan yung logic. Sabi ng Panginoon sa'yo, yes, affirmative. Or sabihin mo, Lord, gusto ko nang mag-asawa ngayon. Sabihin ng Panginoon, negative, no. Kasi nag-aaral ka pa ng logic sa kay Dr. Intila. Matuto ka muna. Wala kang itutustos sa iyong asawa kung magpakasal kayo kaagad. So, yan. Note, all X are Y. Universal, ano ito, uh, all men are rational beings. No X are Y. Okay. Some X are Y. O some X are not Y. So, ito naman, ito universal affirmative. Ito naman, universal. Ang E dito, universal negative. No. So, yun. Uh, it is began with the quality quality of no, quality na negative, using the word no. All men are called to follow God. Ito naman, that is universal, all men, at saka are affirmative. Some men will not be saved. Of course, those who don't don't respond to the grace of God will not be saved. No? So that is universal, or that is particular negative. Okay, class, do you understand? Yan. Practice lang yan eh. Now, tapos, now we go to another PowerPoint presentation. No? Ito naman number 4. No? Categorical propositions. So, this is a continuation class. We go to this one. From the beginning, the categorical proposition. In Aristotelian logic, Aristotle is the father of logic, actually, and he is also the father of biology. Scientist siya as a philosopher. It is the categorical proposition which is most useful in determining the validity of an inference. Valid ba siya? Totoo ba siya o hindi? Acceptable ba siya o hindi? Ano itong inference? Inference means reasoning. That is the other term for reasoning. It is considered the proposition proper. Itong categorical proposition ito. Because its assertion about something is absolute, meaning it is either true or false without any qualification or condition. Yan. Categorical yun. So parang sa court yun, criminal court. Siya ba ay ng rape o hindi? Yan. So, yan. Hindi naman pwedeng sa gitna lang. Ikaw ba ay tao o anghel? Hindi naman pwedeng anghel na tao. Eh. Ano ka, ano ka, ano to? Tayho o tikbalang o ano ba yan? So, hindi. Yan. Ikaw ba ay plant o tao. Hindi ka, it's either you're a plant or a man. Hindi pwede sa gitna. So, either true or false without any qualification or condition. Kung may condition yan, ang tawag dyan, conditional proposition. Hindi na yan categorical proposition. Bakit ayong, okay, ito. Okay. The categorical proposition is very useful. Talagang maasahan mo ito in setting issues as in debates. Kayo ba mahilig sa debates? Ako, I have many YouTube debates. Not for the sake of debates, but for the sake of truth. Sabi ng iba, useless may debate. Bakit useless? In Senate and in our Congress, dibatihan mo na yung bill na yan. Halimbawa, i-pass yung divorce niya, o i-pass yung vaccination ng mga tao ngayon, whether it is beneficial or it is harmful. Dibatihan mo na yung pros and cons dyan. Kung walang debate, ibig sabihin, mayroong diktador dyan na didikta. Mahirap yan kung may dictator. No? Yan, dibatihan mo na yan. So, it's not for the sake of debate, para nakapag-debate lang, para naka-argue lang, no? Patasan ng tinig. Hindi, it's for the sake of truth. So, this is also the usefulness of categorical proposition. For it asserts the unconditional validity or falsity of the conclusion. Conclusion, judgment, inference of one's argument. It is for this reason that the discussions that follow focus on the categorical proposition. Okay. Basic components. Tatlo yan eh. The categorical proposition as an unconditional statement of assertion or denial consists of three basic components, which are the subject term, the predicate term, and the copula. Parang grammar, mayroong subject, mayroong predicate, sa gitna mayroong linking verb or auxiliary verb. Sa Filipino nun, mayroong simuno at saka panaguri. Tapos mayroon pang pandiwa. Verb. Itong copula na ito, sabihin natin, it links, it unites. So you say, it copulates the subject and the predicate term. When it comes to logic, we don't say just subject and predicate. Sa logic naman, we say subject term and predicate term. Yan. The subject term is something which is asserted or denied. This is usually accompanied by a quantifier, such as all, universal, some, which is particular, few, particular, many, no, none, etc., etc. The predicate term is that which is asserted or denied of the subject term. Anong example nito? Yan. Ito na. Mamaya makita natin. The copula, which is a form of the verb to be, is are, is singular, are plural, am, sa copula ng first person singular, I am. I am the way, the truth, and the life, Christ said. Is not, negative naman ito, are not, am not. Is the connecting link between the subject and the predicate terms. Yan ay connect, parang bridge over troubled waters. Yan. It has been described as the soul of the proposition because it expresses verbally the affirmation or negation, which is the essence of the proposition. Sabi ng Zoom, 10 minutes na lang. Okay. Soul, no? Kaluluwa yan eh. Kasi kung walang kaluluwa yung tao, patay eh. St. James said, a body without a spirit or soul is dead. Its function is either to join the subject and the predicate, as in whales are mammals, na join niya, no? Kasi yung whales, nagpapadidi ng kanilang mga anak, mammals sila, with mammary glands. Or separate the subject and the predicate, as in that lawyer is not a member of the academic council. That means separate. So, and join or separate. In the proposition, all patients are given medical treatment. The subject term is patience. Ano naman yung all? All is the quantifier, universal. The copula is ano? Copula are, verb are, yung verb. And the predicate term is given medical treatment. Sabi mo, bakit hindi lamang isang term ito? No? Ang predicate term kasi can be composed of one or more words. Kasama din ng subject term. Pwede rin ng one or more words. It should be borne in mind that the subject term and the predicate term in logic do not mean the same subject and predicate in grammar. No? Kaya huwag mong ihalo yung style ng logic, iba rin style ng logic, iba rin yung style ng English grammar. No? Para bagang ito, parang kung sa sports pa, martial arts, parang mixed martial arts, dala judo, dala jiu-jitsu, kicking and punching. Itong karate naman iba. So yung mag-join ka sa karate tournament, hindi mo ma-apply yung mixed martial arts mo dyan. No? Okay. Or else, foul ka. No? So may rule bawat isa. No? So ito naman, the subject of the statement, all patients are given medical term, no? Includes the quantifier all, but the subject term does not. Okay. Similarly, sa subject, kung sa grammar, um, um, all patients yan sa grammar, all patients. No? Pero sa logic naman, patients lang, yun ang subject term. Yung all quantifier yan. Similarly, the predicate includes the copula are, but the predicate term does not. Yan. So, predicate term is given medical treatment. Yung are na included sa predicate ng grammar. Hindi yan included sa predicate term ng logic. Yung are is considered a copula. So, components here, itong logic, itong grammar. Quantifier all, no? In grammar, wala siya. Subject term sa logic, patients. Sa grammar, all patients, yan ang subject. Yan. Copula are, or linking verb sa grammar yan. Pero, predicate term in logic, given treatment, sa grammar naman, yung predicate niya is are given treatment. Is that clear, class? Okay, medyo konting difference lang, no? Because in logic, we analyze things, no? Differently from how grammar, English grammar analyzes it. Okay. So standard form, no? Itong standard form, the subject term, the copula, and the predicate refers to the pattern or arrangement of the essential or basic components of the proposition. So itong form, subject term, copula, predicate term. Yan. There are sentences which are not following the standard form. Kailangan i-transform siya. So, some categorical propositions are not in standard form because they do not have all three basic components. For logical purposes, this will call for transforming them to their standard form. That is, recasting them as to have all the three components present. So illustrate, ito. Original form, standard form, transform them. John writes books. Sabi mo saan ang copula dito? Wala. So ilagay mo ito sa standard form. John is a person who writes books. Writes, kailangan books dito kasi para equal dito. Mothers love their children. O saan ang copula dyan? Dito sa standard form, nilagay ng copula. Mothers are those who love their children. Cats have whiskers. No copula here. So, you say cats are animals that have whiskers. So, nilagyan ng is a person who. So, yung bakit nag-add dyan? Part yan ng style ng logic na i-add mo yung, mag-add ka ng ibang words just to redeem the copula. No? Para klaro. Kasi kung hindi mo lagyan ng ibang words yan, hindi rin klaro. To transform the original proposition, John writes books into John is writing books, sabi ng PDF natin, is not right. Because the latter is in present progressive tense while the former is in the present tense. I don't quite agree. Kasi itong is writing is also present progressive tense. Yan. Yung, mhm. Yung example dito sa John 3:16, whoever believes in him shall be saved. Yan. Progressive yung word na believes in. Present progressive term tense. Whoever is believing, pag-transform yan, in him shall be saved. Yan. Quality. Quality either negative or affirmative. Yan. And a rational animals. Now, uh, ito naman. Hmm. So, yung negative naman denies, no? Denies the subject term. Okay. The denial is effected by the use of the negative particle not, which accompanies the copula as in is not, are not, am not. You are not uh, an angel. So in some cases, however, instead of not, no is used. And the very first word, no, no man is an island. Yan. So lahat tayo connected. Islands are even connected. And then, so negative. No X or Y. Some cats are not small. I am not approving abortion and divorce. So yun. Men are not rational animals. God is not the cause of temptation. So, Diyos hindi siya nag-cause ng temptation. Sino nag-cause ng temptation? Tatlo. Sino yun? Satanas and his angels. Pangalawa, tayo mismo, we give in the temptation. Third, world or society. But God is not the cause of temptation. Quantity, no? Everyone, for examples, all animals are irrational. Some persons have departed from the faith. Some, yan, quantity, yan, particular. So, I think I have ended the explanation or the exposition. So, do you have any question, class? I think I would stop the sharing here screen. We have only 1 minute left. No? Do you have any question, class? So I will end the recording, you know. Uh-huh. Hmm? So stop there.